Hi guys, and welcome back to Susie Q, Living Life with a View. Guys, thank you so very much for joining me once again on another episode of Susie Q. So I've actually interrupted my new series because I felt it very necessary to talk about the interview that was conducted with Harry and Meghan. I was really touched when watching the interview. I was touched because to some extent, I kind of feel like I have been there. Last week in my new series, I spoke about going through a situation that it seemed so very dark. It was very difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And to a large extent, I'm sure there are many people that have been through life's experiences and have not really had the opportunity to voice out their story. So I really just want to say I'm so proud of Harry and Meghan for talking about how they have been feeling. And I think oftentimes the first step about getting over any form of situation is airing it and talking about it. I really do feel that there are a number of lessons that we can learn from what they had to share within the interview. And I also just want to use it as a basis to perhaps challenge some old concepts and theories that we have that have oftentimes held us captive. So let's talk about it. So the first point and the first thing that I want to talk about in emancipating yourself from whatever captivity that, keeping silent has kept one in is talking about it. I know that institutions such as the royal family and the institution that has been going on for many centuries, including the church, have kept people silent. And I know that this is quite a controversial topic indeed, but I think it's very necessary to talk about. So culturally speaking, I know how challenging it is as a woman to look to voice your opinions. I know many times that, one is encouraged to keep quiet, to sort of bear with whatever you're going through, but using and looking at Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey, she very openly stated that she actually got to a point where she felt like taking her life. It's a shame this is actually a consequence of silencing people. This is actually a consequence of keeping silent. It's very important to talk about what you're thinking, how you're feeling, because this is oftentimes the first and very necessary step to gain healing and also to get free from the captivity of, the status quo. Another aspect that I wanted to pull out from their story is I heard it as part of the interview. Meghan was told to reduce her character and herself by about 50%. So she was encouraged to be a lot less than she was capable of. She was encouraged to be a lot less than what she was as an individual. And I think there comes a point where you need to draw the line that someone looking to reduce you in what you are capable of. Any situation that causes you or forces you to be less than yourself really and truly is not worthy of you, because ultimately it will lead to you feeling very depressed. It will lead to you feeling very unfulfilled as an individual. So another key point that I think I drew from the interview is that I think it's necessary at times to become vulnerable, to be vulnerable enough to open up to another party, to another person, about what you're going through and how you're thinking and how you're feeling. I mean, I talked about my own abusive past, and really and truly, I began to gain healing when I started to talk about it. So this platform here is a form of healing for me because I can talk about how I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and I think it's very necessary that you find an avenue of someone to talk to, someone that you can confide in, someone that you can sort of be vulnerable to. Because the last thing you want is a sense of feeling all alone. Because when you feel all alone and you are all alone in yourself, that is when, unfortunately, sometimes you can start hearing a lot of negative words and negative things that you will start to tell yourself. But oftentimes when you do have a support network, when you do have people around you that love you, that appreciate you, that value you, it can really look to counter a lot of the negativity that you might be thinking and feeling about yourself. Oftentimes, we tend to lose self-worth when we are devalued. And one thing that I definitely want to encourage you out there, whoever's listening, I don't know who this might be apparent to, but I want to encourage you that no matter how people may devalue you in the treatment of how they treat you, does not lessen your value nor lessen your worth. Also, another thing that definitely was so very apparent in the body language of Meghan and the body language of Harry also, is that there was somewhat of a fear. And I can't tell you how gripping fear can be. The fear of, if I talk about it, what will be the consequences? That fear of, well, if I say what's on my mind, if I really open up and talk about things, how will I be received? How will I be receptive? Will people take what I'm saying as truth? Or will they slander me and look down on me because I've spoke about what I'm going through? Now, I want you to remove that fear from your thinking. Oftentimes that fear, again, is something that keeps people bound because they feel as though they can't talk about what they're going through for fear of what others or how others may respond or may react. Again, I think this is really helped by having a support network. I talked about the support network that I had when acknowledging first and foremost that I was in an abusive relationship and then talking about it. I can't tell you how liberating it was to talk about it and how liberating it has been talking about it. It has been like healing for me. And I think that there are many people that have been in my shoes before and that oftentimes don't feel as though they can talk to anyone about it. Again, for fear. Again, because of culture. Again, also because of a number of restraints we have placed upon people, particularly women, within society as a whole. So let's just encourage each other. I really want to encourage Meghan and Harry. I'm so very, very proud of them that they decided to speak up and speak out about what they were going through. And I really do hope and wish the best for them as they journey along their life. So guys, thank you so very much for joining me on Susie Q Living Life with a View.